We are in the National Center of Forensic Medicine in Israel. This is the only forensic medicine facility in Israel. The bodies that came here were people that were not being able to identify by simple means, or they were kind of mutilated or decomposed or totally burned. These are the containers that were in Shura base camp. And in the containers, the bodies were stored inside. This is the trucks that are coming and unloaded. And you can see the trucks with the bodies are coming and being brought to the institute. And what are the anthropologists are doing? They're taking little pieces of bones and so on. And according to one bone, they can say if this is a man or this is a woman, what is the height of this person, what is the race of this person, and so on. It looks like a coal, and it doesn't look like anything special, you know, if you look at this piece of something. But if you do CT to this, you can see that there are two spines here, and these are the spine of an adult and the spine of a teenage, and there are two sets of ribs here, and this is a metal wire that are encircled. They were tied by metal wire and they are burned. So they're hugging each other while they are burned. This is just a body bag, and you open the body bag, and you can see burned materials. Now we talked about the fire that they were using. Now the black things, you can extract DNA, but the white thing, you cannot extract DNA because this is about 700 degrees centigrade. So, and why is this? This is because the terrorists, first of all, used some incendiary materials to pour over and create kind of crematorium. These people were burned into in their shelter. So it was burned in very, very high temperature. This is the other person that was there. There are two people. We couldn't find out, but example, another body bag, here you can extract DNA from this. And if you separate it and you do it by CT, you can see long bones and skull bones here. And the skull bones, you can differentiate, but if you take all the bones apart, you can see there are 3 left legs and 2 right legs. And so there are at least 3 people in one body bag. And we had body bags that were several people in one body bag, and there are body bags that one person is in many, many body bags. Another thing that we saw is multiple mechanism of injury. For example, this is a burned body. But if you look at it, you can see stab wounds here. So he was stabbed. But if you do the CT, you can see the CT now. You can see the pelvis is crushed here. I don't think that this is explosion. This looks like more like a crush injury here. And here, if you do the metal mode of the CT, you can see the bullets inside. So this guy was shot, he was run over, he was stabbed, and he was burned. Here is the decapitation of a 12-year-old girl. We saw a body in Gaza where they're taking it on a pickup truck and so on. On a video that Hamas released. And they spitting and putting a feet on, and so. But we didn't know if she's dead or alive. But this is a part of 3.5 centimeters of a bone that was found in the field, and this is part of the base of the skull. And according to this bone, we knew that she is dead, because a person cannot be alive if it was not taken in a very complicated surgery. So we can declare her death according to one piece of bone, but her body is in Gaza. So these are cases that takes time, because until you find these little pieces and so on and declare that somebody is dead, although you know that his body is not here, you don't have the body. You know, you can live without pieces of the upper skull, of the roof of the skull, but it was scattered in many places, so probably his skull was shattered by something, and his body is not here. It's in Gaza, but this is the only thing that were buried, and this is another one this is the only thing that was buried. This is part of the skull, so we can declare that he is dead. This is the only evidence that he was taken to Gaza, but he is dead, and
so the only evidence you have is this tiny piece of nothing.
Yes, and this is what was buried. They made a funeral, and this is the only thing that was buried. I'm concentrating the body, but when I'm talking with you or with other people about the significance of this, and actually you start to think of what happened to us. And you start to think about the person that you are. It's not just a scientific preparat. It's a person, and he has family, and he had the plans, and you read about it in the newspaper. And this is very sad, because it reminds us that we are not safe. It's actually shaking our own security in our existence here. Remember that one day, it was Friday evening and before Shabbat, and many people were here, many volunteers. The institute was full, crowded of people, and suddenly people came out and brought us food. Sorry. They were cooking the food for us. We never hear thank you for our job, and suddenly we hear it. I'm sorry. And it was beautiful. And you can see there is light, not just bad. And when you see this difference between the kindness of people and the cruelty that you say, there's the people that try to wipe off the earth, other people, and you see there's kindness in humanity too. This is something that this difference is shocking. These is the things that make you kind of emotional. Despite this, we are still here, and it will be very, very difficult to wipe us off. Although the situation is not good, I don't think the people in Germany know what it is to feel that you are always threatened, that somebody always waiting to kill you, always, all the time. And when he has the chance, he will do that. And they say it. They say, we don't do it now because we can't, but whenever we will be able, we will kill you. And I don't think that people in Europe know how it is. I don't think that anyone in the world is feeling how it is to be threatened to be wiped off, no memory for you at all, and that's it. Now, I'm not a young anymore, but many people that are still young and they have hopes and so on, and the people that died, they were young. Most of them, most of the victims were young, also children and so on, and this is very difficult to see the dreams that were cut. I think the amount of cruelty that we saw, they don't care about life at all. These are murderous people. These are not this is not human beings. Human beings are not acting like this. The amount of cruelty that we think, it's like ISIS. It's the same. These are the people that we are dealing with, and any justification of it, there is no justification. Many people do not understand that we are not dealing with the same set of values. And this is something that the world fails to understand. This is not the same set of values that we share. We have to stay human. We must stay human. We must stay, because otherwise we lose also inside our own society. We lose the borders and the way to treat each other.